Clean your own home. And if you got kids, go get with your kids. My kids are grown. Go get with your kids. Go get with who you need to get with. If you got a man and your life is good, why you not out at dinner or something? Exactly. Go to dinner. My husband over there working outside. Almost 30 years of marriage. Okay? So anything I get on and I'm going to puff my chest, I could puff it. It's big. But I'm not going to sit by and let somebody, I'm not going to walk by. I'm a human. I'm a human before I'm anything. I'm not about to walk by and watch somebody just constantly get kicked and kicked and kicked, and you're going to them to kick them. They're not coming to you. She's not at your house. I'm making some chicken soup. I'm about to add my noodles. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see. I done added my chicken back in there. Y'all, ooh, my spoon. Y'all see that? My ladle.
Ooh, that looks
Yeah.
so good.
Yes. Look at that.
What kind of noodles you put in there?
I'm just gonna actually put in, I haven't decided, cause I have, either I'm gonna break up some spaghetti noodles, or I might use the elbow noodles. I haven't decided. I have,
You got the bow ones? The ones that look like
oh,
bows?
I hate the bow ones. You know why? Because you know that little part that's in the middle where the bow is? It's too chewy for me. That one part messes me up. I'm a texture person. So if it's too much, I can't handle it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do what you think? I should do the elbow? Elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna thicken up my gravy, my juice. Do you know how to do that?
You said spaghetti. So is it the thick spaghetti or is it the thin one?
Just the regular ones.
Oh no, yeah, the elbow. The elbow. If
Elbow?
it was the thick
Okay.
one, then yeah.
Okay. And then do you know how to thicken up if you want your juice to be a little
Like
thicker?
ruin it? Like ruin with
Yeah,
the flour?
I'll put a little bit, I'll make a little slurry with a little flour and a little of the juice and pour it back in there just to thicken it up a little bit.
I'm still learning. I need to watch that.
Okay. Well, when you get your pots and pans and all that good stuff, just message me and I'll come on and I'll show you. But where is my flour?
Because if they accept my food stamps, then look, I'm about to just be buying stuff we cook together online.
Hey, you know what? We can do that.
I be needing help.
You know, those are skills. Some of the skills I learned in foster care, and from different people over the years. You know, when my babies were little, I was always trying to pick up skills. But now you got social media, so people don't even need people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just go on and look, and everybody got a recipe. But where's my flour? Or my cornstarch? You could do it with cornstarch too. And I know I have cornstarch. My pantry, I need to rearrange it. I was supposed to do it a few weeks ago when I was off for break, but I did not. Do you have any questions for me? I've been talking this whole time, just going to town.
A mouthful. I really like what you said, and I like the way that you word it as well. Not just targeting towards me, but also them. You know, I try to tell them all the time. Of course, like it's not right for me to cuss them out. It ain't. It ain't. I know that ain't godly and stuff, but a lot of stuff that you said, I am soaking it in right now. I need to hear it. You know, I'm working on that right now. Self-control. You know, my mom always tell me that it takes self-discipline to be able to learn and be able to control yourself.
It's not easy. I don't win every day, you know. We're all a work in progress for sure, you know. But one thing I always like to focus on is that, you know, at the end of the day, you are the only person that you can manage. You know, you can't manage anybody else. You will never be able to manage other people. And so if you focus on managing yourself, then you'll be okay, you know? Let's see. Okay, so you see I'm just going to use this little bit.
That's a cup.
Yeah, it's just I had got it out of something I had. Let me smell this flour. I don't know if I like this flour.
You use bleach flour or unbleached?
I bought unbleached, but then it expired. So I had both.
Okay.
But I was trying to find my cornstarch because I know that that's more fresh than the flour I have. But I can't find it.
Thank you for everybody that's been sending gifts. I'm sorry. I've been trying to take in what she's saying. Thank you. Thank you. You said hold yourself accountable. I have held myself accountable for things that I've done.
And holding yourself accountable does not mean beating yourself down.
Exactly.
Sometimes we can just acknowledge that, you know what, yeah, I played a role in that. I willingly did X, you know. I made a bad decision. I make poor decisions. You know, you may have made poor decisions in one area that somebody else makes poor decisions in another area. You know, at the end of the day, we all make decisions and we all are a work in progress. My thing is, at the end of the day, I may not like what you're doing. I may not like certain things, right? But she's not blaming everybody else. Why don't you, Taya, what's something you take accountability for?
I take account. So basically, I was in denial. Like, I was one-sided. Like, it's all his fault, all his fault. It took me talking to my mom, like, Dara, you played the role. Like, you know, you need to start taking up for what you did. Like, so now when I think about it, it's just like, okay, yeah, this wouldn't have happened if I just left and really stand firm on leaving this man. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. I would say that technically, or just, I don't even know, but I would say I did choose him over my kids. I didn't realize that I was choosing him over my kids. I didn't love myself. I was unhappy. I was depressed, and that's no excuse. But I wasn't fully here to even notice that I was doing these things. And so now that I have had time to heal from him and be away from him, I acknowledge these things. These are things I was ignoring, you know, like,
did you go slow? Did you take your time going and taking the classes that they ordered you to take?
Yes, I actually love my classes because it lets me know a lot of domestic violence cycle. Like, you know, not a lot of people know the cycle of domestic violence.
Okay, she took 4 years. Hold up. First, y'all was moaning and groaning about her not taking any accountability. So I'm asking her this to see, because let me tell you, I worked in child welfare. Okay, 23 years. And yes, there were a lot of parents, a lot of people stuck like a truck, thinking, oh no, I love my kids, I'll do anything for my kids, but yet you don't show up to your visit. You don't show up to the classes that you're supposed to be taking. We caught you, I showed up at the house and the nigga was there. Okay, no, that is not a reflection, but a lot of times people are saying one thing and living another and not making that connection. They're disconnected.
And that's why they told me that they have people that actually go out and investigate, or they just do pop-ups at your house because so that's why when people be, oh, I'm a pop-up at your house, well, DHS might be watching you do the weird stuff, you feel me? Because they are doing that. Like,
and I've had clients that it took them 3-4 years of doing them until one day they had a moment, because I was not going to let up on them. I can remember one of my clients that I said, so how long are we going to do this? Because baby after baby is coming. Baby's going to be calling a foster mom, they auntie, they cousin, mommy. They not calling you. You missing out on things. But until they were ready to sit down, the reality is this. Let me help you guys with this. The hardest thing for anybody to do is to stand in the mirror. Most people run past the mirror. It may not be, you may not have lost custody of your kids, but for me, it was walking past the mirror and treating myself like garbage while treating everybody else like they were amazing because I had low self-worth, low self-esteem. It was me people pleasing myself into a hospital. I never lost custody of my kids. I took care of my kids. I was an amazing mother to my kids. That was never something that was in my hemisphere. But it didn't change the fact that what I was modeling for my family was that I didn't matter because my self-esteem was a mess. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving y'all this example, which is why I am the self-care cheerleader, why I am who I am and where I am in this world, not because I've always been where I am now. I dealt with depression. I dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with having a hard time waking up, facing myself because I didn't love myself. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, for some people, they could get that message a little quicker, sooner, faster. But I was in survival mode for a long time, just trying to make sure that my kids didn't end up in a system that I came out of, that I didn't turn into my mother. So that meant neglecting myself on so many levels. So at the end of the day, it took a long time for me to get to a place where, I could catch my breath. Oh, now let me go sit in this dark place. Let me go look at myself. It took a lot. I share this on my lives all the time, that it took me, when I got in this one hole that I said I was not going to get out of, I didn't want nobody to help me. I didn't want nobody to send nothing to me. I wanted to stay in that hole until I learned how to walk for myself. I didn't want to be dependent on nobody because what I was learning was I was getting in the same relationships. I was never in no bad relationship with a man because I've been with my husband since I was 17. Thank God for that. But when it came to friends and family members, I was constantly having the same toxic relationship over and over and over again, where I'm like, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm mad because I keep giving my best and I'm trying to be the best to these people. I'm getting up in the middle of the night, going to see about them, taking care of them because I'm hoping that they're going to be there for me. I'm hoping that they're going to love me. I'm hoping that when this is done, they're going to see that I'm valuable and they're not going to throw me away. Mm-hmm. But I was dealing with my own stuff. Mm-hmm. And when I got to a place where I realized, well, damn, you the common denominator. Like Taia may have to realize, Taia, you might been in 3 domestic violence relationships. You the common denominator. Mm-hmm. What's going on with you that you keep, you're attracted to this? Mm-hmm. What's going on with you that you think that this is all you can get, that this is what you're worth, that this is the best you could do? At the end of the day, the reality is it takes moments and some of us get there before others, but everybody's dealing with something. I'm sure if I came and I looked at you and I analyzed you, or you came to my office and sat on my couch, I'm sure you'd be crying in the first 5 to 10 minutes because I'd be putting some things in your face that you probably coming there to say, oh, my mama, oh, this person. And when I put it back on you, that it's really about your self-worth and your self-confidence and what you lack within yourself that allows you to put up with what you put up with, I'm sure you wouldn't be as judgmental. You would want to give yourself more compassion. But the reality is when it comes to other people, because their circumstances and the shit they're dealing with is different from the shit you're dealing with, you become judgmental. Mm-hmm. Because it ain't your shit. Mm-hmm. It ain't your shit. No, I'm not new here. I'm not new here. This is just the first time you hearing from me. I'm not new here. But let me tell you what I do have that most of y'all don't have. Not only do I have the professional background, but I have the lived background. Mm-hmm. I bet most of y'all don't have none of that. Oh, okay, India, I'm sorry.
It said you got them in tears. But that's true. And you know what's crazy is I see a lot of people that have lost their kids before, mm-hmm. or people that could lose their kids doing like stuff that, you know, that can really just lose their kids for real, like not feeding their kids, abusing their kids, neglecting their kids and stuff. And it's just like, you just mad because your kids is in the system, but at the end of the day, you almost one step, you know.
None of us are above. We all could make a mistake.
Exactly.
We all could do something. We
One
all
call
could have a party. You could have a party and have a little too much to drink and your kid get outside. We used to get calls for that. And then now we're investigating, are you taking care of your kid? But the reality is they could be a great mother, great father, but they had a lapse in judgment. And true enough, some are habitual offenders. My point is, I'm not here to rally for Taya and say that Taya is great and amazing. I don't know Taya to speak on Taya. I don't know her to speak on Taya. What I can say is that I have silently witnessed people come, and even on a day where she's trying to be positive, I'm watching people constantly shit on her. Is she so fucked up? Why are you watching her? She put a bad taste in your mouth, get gone. That button that say block is real easy. Cause anybody I don't want to fuck with, I block them. Exactly. Anybody I don't want in my hemisphere, I block them. But you keep showing up, and you're not doing a good deed by warning other people. What you're doing is you planting seeds in your backyard that one day you're going to have to face. Because I can tell you right now, when you sit high and you look low on people, oh, God has a funny way of bringing it full circle. You don't have to be a bad mother. You don't have to be a bad father. You don't have to be in an abusive relationship, but you will fall asleep at the wheel because you so tired, accidentally crash into somebody, and that person could give you compassion, but because of the seeds you've sown, they gonna take you for everything you got. You could lay your wallet down. You could be out shopping and lose your wallet. At the end of the day, you don't want to plant seeds for trees that you don't want to water and you don't want to prune. So my thing is this: if Taya is scum of the earth, she ain't shit. What is your comments? What is your beat down supposed to do? Is that watering her? Is that helping her? Is that pouring into her life? Calling her job? Or calling a hospital? I saw that night that she was in the hospital. And then you guys are calling a hospital to have her put out of the hospital. Tell me, how did you go to bed that night? No. Honey, I worked in child welfare, okay? And I work with kids every day. I went hard for the kids that were on my caseload. And I told their parents hard truths. But you know what? I was also in a position where, as I told them about themselves and made them face themselves, I was also in a position to give them what they needed to help them up. I wasn't just coming around to spew and vomit on them and shit on them. You're not advocating for her kids. Getting her fired is not advocating for her kids. Let me tell you something else. Let me educate y'all on this one more thing. At the end of the day, when kids are in foster care, whether they with their grandma, their cousin, their auntie, the best foster home, the foster home could take those children to Disneyland every day. And if you check with those kids on where they want to be, they would take a snag-a-tooth, stank breath, no panty wearing mother any day. So let me tell you how I used to have to educate some of the social workers that I worked with that used to shit on the mothers because she was making dumbass decisions. I used to let them know, and they said, oh, I'm here for the kids. Let me tell you how you be there for the kids. When these kids are 18, they're not coming to your house for Thanksgiving. These kids want who they came from. So the best thing you could ever do is help. You try, you keep working to get the ear, to get the mind, and get the heart of your client, of the mother. Because I don't give a fuck what you do. You could put them in therapy. I don't care care what you do. You can take them to Disneyland. They always gonna want their mama because they came from their mama. So when you say you advocating for the kids, are you really? Are you really? Because let's say you shit on her and then as a result, she go and get drunk to deal with it. That helping her kids? That's helping them? That's helping them? Huh? Is that helping them? Yeah, because you doing it for the kids. Remember, this is for the kids. If you want to help the kids, I used to tell when I used to train the new social workers, and I said, I know you're going to see some things, you're going to read some things, you're going to encounter some parents that don't even understand how much they need you, and they're going to shit on you, they're going to call the board of supervisors on you, they're going to talk shit about you, they're going to say you ain't a good person, they're going to say a whole lot. And you got to keep them same kids at the forefront of your mind. And understand that no matter what home you put them in, adopted or not, they going to look for their mama when they grown. They hurting because they want their mama. Same for you, Taya. Every time you entertain these people, is that helping you get closer or further away to you getting your children back? You have to start looking at that. You have to start looking at how you allow it to affect you, because at the end of the day, your kids are the ones laying in somebody else's bed. And see, since I was in the foster care system, that was one thing that I was sure my kids were never going to do over my dead body. You know why? Because I know what it's like to sleep in a bed that's not yours. I know what it's like to sit at a dinner table and pray over food and it ain't cooked by your mama and you're not sitting down with your family. I know what it's like to wake up on holidays and open up presents and the only thing that your heart desires is your mama. Do you hear me, Taya?
Yeah.
That's the reality. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. Let them be who they are. If they can't see and understand that it's more damaging, it's doing more harm than good, let them. Let them start making decisions with your future self in mind. With your future self in mind. You feel what I'm saying? You start making decisions with the Taya that you desire to be. Not the version of you now. Not the version of you now. I have had some parents that were, I ain't gonna lie, when I first got them, I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna have to adopt their kids out. Because they got a nasty attitude. They shitty. They don't listen. They married to the bullshit. They still want to be up under people who ain't for them. They don't listen. I'm talking till I'm blue in the face and they not listening. But I get tired. I get rest and I came back. At some point, I can't tell you how many parents I watched. And I went to all my parents' court hearings. When they got their kids back, I was there. When their case closed, I was there. We celebrated. You feel what I'm saying? And these are people who used to call me bitches. People that used to be like, oh, you ain't shit, fuck you. You don't care. Those were the same people hugging me. Those were the same people saying, I'm so glad you came in my life because you did more than your job. But you know what I was always thinking of? What I wish a social worker would have did for my mother. I wish that a social worker would have had the time and the patience to call my mom on her shit, but also offer her compassion. See, if you're going to hold somebody accountable, compassion has to be a part of that. Separate is just shitting on somebody.